Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Roscoe 2, and as you can see here, we're looking at a Garrett detector video. Now this video was just introduced yesterday, Christmas Eve 2014, and as you can see from the title, the best just got better. But what do they mean by that? Well, what they mean is they've got a new pinpointer on the way. Now, as you can imagine, this pinpointer, being that this video is about the water hunting, is going to be waterproof. But not only that, it's gonna be orange! Look at that! Now, this pinpointer, the Garrett Propointer AT, as they're calling it, it has not been. They have not set a release date yet, and this is really the only information we've had on it, which is that it's going to be more powerful, more features, and all-terrain, and waterproof up to 10 feet. Now, the main question that many people are having on it already, even though we really don't know a whole lot about it other than those 4 things right there, is what's going to be the price of this new toy? Well, for all of you that are hoping or praying or thinking that it might be near the same price as the Garrett Pinpointer Original, the Garrett Propointer, dash in your hopes right now. That is not going to happen. We can expect this Propointer to probably be anywhere from $150 to $200 because of the simple fact that it's got, well, first of all, they put new features into it, so they have to make their money back on the engineering. And second of all, it's waterproof. Now you might be asking, well, how do we know that a waterproof pinpointer is going to be costing much more? If you look at Minelab, Whites, and the other few companies that have introduced pinpointers that look almost exactly like the Garrett Propointer over the last 6 years, the one thing you notice is that none of them have made the step to make a pinpointer waterproof other than like Vibra Probe, which has been doing it for much longer than the Garrett Propointer has been alive. And the question that many people always ask is, why can't they make it waterproof? They're worried about the cost that it's going to cost the consumer. They don't want to make people run away from their product because, although it might be waterproof, it's going to cost more. And if the only difference is that it's waterproof and it has a few more features, why am I going to buy a waterproof pinpointer? Not only that, but they probably also realize that many people don't actually need a waterproof pinpointer. Not to say that nobody needs it, because obviously if you're water hunting or if you're hunting in the beach, you're going to want it. But if you're hunting like, in the middle, if you're hunting in the surf of, the Florida Keys, you're probably not going to be hunting with a pinpointer of any type because you're going to be using your scoop to actually act as a pinpointer just by scooping up dart. Now, like I just said, expect it to be $150 to $200. Now, the second question that I've thought about that I think that many people have probably thought about already, although this one is very, very easy to understand why it's not going to happen, is will the original Garrett Propointer be continued? No! Garrett has used the Garrett Propointer as their cash cow for the last 6 years. It might not have made them the most money, but I can guarantee you that it's one of their top-selling metal detecting hobby products. It's affordable in the fact that when you look at the competition, really the only companies that have even made something cheaper than them that is just as well off and works just as good as the Garrett Propointer have been Chinese companies that have been able to make it for anywhere from $70 to $90. They've made their own version. When you look at the actual brands that work with the hobby, such as Minelab and Whites, both of them, their pinpointers cost quite a bit more than the Garrett Propointer. Now I'm not talking hundreds of dollars more, I'm talking $20 to $30 more, which has kept many people away from those brands and has kept them going with the Garrett Propointer. Now, the third question I wanted to bring up was what direction is Garrett headed now that we have yet another AT product from them? The fact of the matter is, we can no longer deny that Garrett is slowly but surely heading towards an all-terrain lineup. Basically, the only metal detector that they haven't really introduced as an all-terrain metal detector has been the Ace series of metal detectors and the upper land units, the upper level land units, such as the GTI 2500, which is getting up there in age, and they're probably going to be replacing that in a few years. I can almost guarantee you it's going to be an all-terrain metal detector. They've invested a lot of time and advertising and energy into making all-terrain metal detectors, and I'm pretty sure that Garrett has pretty much settled with the introduction of the Garrett Propointer AT, it's been solidified. They are going with all-terrain metal detectors for at least the upper to middle level from here on out. Now, the fourth and final question, or not really a question, but kind of a statement, and it is, what does this mean for other metal detector companies? Garrett, the company that redefined what a propointer should look like and be capable of doing, has come back to fill the void that it left over 6 years ago when it introduced the Garrett Propointer. It's giving the customer the main feature that they have been asking for, wondering about, hoping for the last 6 years, and that is a fully waterproof pinpointer. Now, although other companies have made fully waterproof pinpointers at a higher cost than the original Garrett Propointer, Garrett is the first mainstream metal detecting company that really is involved with the hobby completely that is introducing a fully waterproof metal detector. I mean, pinpointer, sorry about that. Other companies, they've edged towards this key feature, with a similar design to what Garrett's original Propointer looks like, but they have not fulfilled the need. Many argue, and I've come to think of it, that the main reason that they haven't fulfilled the void of having a waterproof pinpointer is because making a waterproof pinpointer is not as simple or as cheap as many think it is, apparently. There is some engineering, I would imagine, behind it, and plus they have to buy different materials, probably more costly materials. They have to make it more tough than it already is. So, I mean, many companies haven't wanted to do that because they're worried that with the extra cost of building these, they're going to have to raise the price, and people are not going to be willing to pay that price for a waterproof Propointer. Now, that's really all I have to say so far about the new Garrett Propointer AT and concerning Garrett as a company and some of their other products. Like I said before, this video is basically just completely my opinion. All of this could turn out to be completely true. Who knows? Maybe this will be a $300 pinpointer. Who knows? Maybe Garrett isn't going to make any more all-terrain metal detectors. And, maybe they are going to discontinue the Garrett Propointer. I really don't know. But this is just my speculation, and just to get the conversation flowing for other people. I hope you guys found this video at least enjoyable. Maybe you found it humorous. Maybe you thought I'm, completely off topic. But, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Roscoe 2, and we'll make another video pretty soon.